Hi there, my name is Jessica Williams and I'm a third-year doctoral occupational therapy student at the University of Kansas Medical Center. Thank you for attending my poster presentation over my capstone experience. I completed my doctoral capstone experience at Crosslines Community Outreach, an organization serving individuals affected by poverty in Wyandotte County, Kansas. The organization is in Kansas City, Kansas, just down the street from the University of Kansas Medical Center's main campus. Crosslines addresses poverty through two main programs, including housing stabilization and hunger relief, meeting immediate needs and connecting individuals with resources to support their long-term development of independence and self-sufficiency. I conducted a needs assessment of the site with guidance from my site mentor, who is the executive director at Crosslines. This assessment identified a wide array of strengths and opportunities that the organization embodies, and we also narrowed down a gap that occupational therapy could fill. Wyandotte County did not have sufficient access to information about the social determinants of health, which are everything that impact our health beyond our healthcare system: housing status, transportation access, and food access, to name a few. Current literature identifies that filling this gap can increase community health outcomes through empowerment and knowledge of local resources, which in turn positively impacts community members' access to meaningful occupations. This is a direct result of the intersecting nature of the social determinants of health that is at play in all of our lives. Evidence also supports OT's role in supporting community education and engagement regarding the social determinants of health. To do this, I reviewed evidence over a variety of media platforms for community health education and identified that podcasts were an accessible and effective means for this objective. As I navigated the social determinants of health and supported individuals experiencing housing and food insecurity at Crosslines, I dove deeper into literature supporting OT's role in this setting, and I got to share what I found through conversations and practice as I got to engage with clients, staff, volunteers, and even with community members outside of the organization. Throughout the experience, I had opportunities to practice understanding how the lens I have as a future OT can support community initiatives. One opportunity included semi-formal interviews I conducted with Crosslines staff, which I was able to eventually produce into a podcast mini-series titled Empower Wyandotte. Throughout my experience, I had 3 objectives I was aiming to meet, which I worked toward through a variety of learning opportunities at Crosslines, and those are listed here. My capstone project aimed to intentionally and tangibly increase access to information on the social determinants of health through the development of an education-based podcast. All the criteria I had set for my program were met through the dissemination of the podcast, and it was quite the process to get there. As I completed the project, I was continuously reviewing current literature that challenged and or supported what we were working on to educate our community. I followed the processes that you see here and then addressed final outcomes through a transcript analysis and seeking prompted and unprompted feedback from interviewees and listeners. One listener's quote is pictured here, and this graph displays the frequency at which each of the social determinants of health listed were mentioned throughout the podcast. I met all of my objectives and more while feeling confident in articulating OT's role in community outreach, especially in homeless services, and I look forward to continue learning more. I shared the podcast and a deliverable with all the references that supported my experience to Crosslines staff, and they have intention and means to continue sharing the podcast to promote continued community education. There will be a Level 1 fieldwork student from North Central College in Naperville, Illinois at Crosslines this summer to continue fostering understanding of OT's role in providing services at community outreach organizations. Continuing advocating with the population served and for OT's presence in this setting are great opportunities as I look forward from my capstone experience. I'm so grateful for the experience as a whole and for all those who had a hand in making it possible. You can access the podcast at the QR code on the left and my resources, contact information, and additional deliverables at the QR code on the right. Please reach out again if you have any questions, and thank you so much for your interest in my capstone projects.